Okay, have fun.
And you have your craft character.
On the tour, which would they be from?
Again, good morning, everyone. On behalf of Lackawanna Heritage Valley, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I am Bob Savakinis, the chairperson of Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority. We have several of our board members in attendance. But first of all, I'd like to begin the program, the day, our event, by welcoming Vicky Shenandoah of the Oneida Wolf Clan.
Good evening or good afternoon, everybody, or morning. Can you hear me? Okay. I've been asked to come and give an opening, if you will, address, and it's similar to like a prayer. Of course, we're not Christian, but it's giving thanks, and it's a traditional thing we do where I'm from whenever people are gathered. And we do it in the morning, and I'll explain a little bit about it to you. I'll do the best I can for you to let you know. I'm going to say a little bit in my language first, and then I'll tell you what I said. In our language, we call it, I'm Oneida from the Wolf Clan. I live up near Syracuse, New York. It's actually Oneida, New York, not far from where they make the silver factory, the silver. But anyway, we call this in our language Ganuhala Dunksla, and that means giving thanks. And I'll just, from my perspective, I'll let you just kind of be brief about, we believe all living things have a spirit, therefore they contain the sacred gift of life, so we have to acknowledge them just as human beings as well and address them. So I'll start and I'll say my native language first, and then I'll tell you exactly kind of what I said, okay? Swarahuncios de Ganjokwa Nate Ohundu Gali Huategua Haguego Oscar G Andwahwe Nuni Ongwat Nigula Danye Chinue La Du Ganjokwa Skana Amana Tuhage Dane Tony on Tuhage Ongwat Nigu. What I just said for you was I'd like to call everyone's attention and to listen real well, because now comes the words before all else. And we will put our minds together as one, and we will thank the people, all the people that are gathered here today, and send our greetings to everyone that was able to attend. And that we're able to have peace on this day and in this moment, and then our minds, that's how our minds will be. Okay, we'll thank the people first. Haguego Uskaji Anwahwe Nuni Ongwat Nigula. Dayeti Noe Lano Yonkisuta. Awadu Skana Anranu Tuhage Dane To Tuhage Ongwat Nigu. And what I'd said is the next thing is now we'll put our minds together and we'll give thanks to our Mother, the Earth, for she provides everything that we need, our food, our clothing, medicines from the plant world. And we send our kind greetings and love to Mother Earth. And sometimes this can last forever, ever in my language. I'll kind of make it short. But we go on to say thank you to the waters of the earth, to the stars. We give our greetings and we put our minds together as one. And to the strawberry, because the strawberry plant's the first plant of the summer, and it's a medicinal plant. We thank the stars, because the stars light up the night sky, and we thank the moon. The moon will control the tides and will determine when women give birth. And all natural living things we give our thanks, and we put our minds together as one. And so how we say that in our language is Dayeti Noe Ladu Haguego Uskaji Andwahwe Nuni Ongwat Nigula Ongwat Nigula. That means, and that's the way our minds will be. So on this day, we always say thank you to all living things, the animals, and if I've forgotten anything, to say thank you to the natural world. Please forgive me, but you can give thanks in your own mind on this day for things that you are thankful for. And I'd just like to thank Dr. Reisinger for inviting me and my family. We'll be sharing some of our culture with you later. And the Lackawanna Heritage Valley National State Heritage Area for having this. And so we say, Donato, and in our language that means I have spoken. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vicki, for those very thoughtful, reflective words. Again, good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming out. When you look at Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority, the organization, you think of what we do. We as an organization bring communities together. We bring our community support partners together. We bring the community together to make events like this happen. We work with our cultural institutions. We work with our historical organizations, our environmental groups, etc. We have a wonderful staff at LHVA, a wonderful director in Natalie Gelb, and we have a wonderful board. These things are accomplished, again, because of the cooperation and the ethic that is up here in Lackawanna County, I should say. We have many of our local elected officials, state, national, and local as well. And people need to realize how important our elected officials are. Not only are they out there advocating on the national level, again, the state level and local level, and helping us to get the resources to make projects like this happen, but they're also out there in the community working with you, with the citizens, to make our community better. And I want to extend a special thank you to all of our local elected officials for coming out here this morning to spend the time and show how important this community is to them when they represent us in Washington, Harrisburg, and on the local level as well. So with that being said, I'd like to begin our program officially and introduce our Executive Director, Natalie Gelb.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Vicki, for that lovely prayer. I think the Spirit is definitely with us today, this beautiful day. Somebody really wanted this to be as perfect as it could be, and it really is. And thank you all for coming. I just want to give you a little bit of background. We have a long program, so I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can and keep my enthusiasm under control, because this is sort of an emotional day for all of us here at the Lackawanna Heritage Valley. And Bob said it, we have a wonderful board, and we have particularly wonderful staff. We have two boards, Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority and Heritage Valley Partners, which is our development entity, and we invite all of you to be Heritage Partners. We have brochures up here. We could use your support so we can continue to expand the trail and all the wonderful other activities that the Heritage Valley does. But I have to first say that this was really a team effort, and as you can see, there are a lot of people to acknowledge, and Mr. Savakinis will be introducing many of them. But please make sure to look at the back of the program and see all the people that are acknowledged here. But none of this would happen without a fantastic staff that I would like to recognize. My Chief Operating Officer, Dan Perry, Leo Danilak, who's our Chief Fiscal Officer, Bev Luizo, who's our Assistant Fiscal Officer. Very special recognition today to Stephanie Molesky, who's our Trail Manager and Environmental Program Officer, who's been the director, the producer, and really the promoter of this project and the entire trail. This is a 2-mile piece of our wonderful trail, but this trail will eventually be 70 miles long, 40 miles along the Lackawanna River, and this will mean 18 miles of trail now open. And this particular part now extends the trail, contiguous trail, for about 8 miles from the Dixon City border of Scranton to Taylor, connecting those communities, and we'll eventually have 30 communities. You know, I'm April Regato, who is walking around here with all this information, is my executive assistant, and she has been the event planner, the caterer, and all of the above. We'd like to remind you that after this, if you're available, we'd like you to come back into our building at 213 7th Avenue and for a little snack. But April has done a magnificent job in putting this together this morning, and Owen Worsbit, who's standing right back there in front of me, is our Director of Community Engagement, and Owen has been working with our volunteers to get this trail clean and green, and Owen has been a wonderful outreach to the community, and anybody who wants to get involved, please talk to Owen, because we are welcoming all of you. I was on this particular section about 7 years ago in 2006, sort of by accident. I was training for a long walk that I was doing for a fundraiser, and I thought, I can go down there. Somebody told me they rode their bike down here. It was just 2 ruts in a mud road. And I got about half a mile in and thought, what did I do? It was August, so it was just about 7 years ago. And I had another name for this trail for a long time because it was kind of scary. I thought I was out in the middle of nowhere. But the irony is that this trail is an urban trail. It really is. We're right near our towns. And as our state officials know and our representatives from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, there's a program in Pennsylvania called Connecting Nature and Commerce. And that's really what this trail does. In addition to being health and wellness promotion, alternative transportation, which you see here today. We have people walking, we have people on rollerblades, we have bike riders, we have all kinds of alternative transportation here so people don't have to use gas and use up our natural resources in that way to connect between communities, between their work and their home and their schools. But this is just a wonderful way to connect communities and people together and connect them to the river because it's also the link to the river. I have to just point out a couple of people, and I'm only going to name a few people because you're going to hear about a lot of them later. But our theme is land, people, industry, and it's all right here, this land and the Native Americans. It's our first opportunity to really celebrate that heritage, and I credit much of that to Dr. Jerry Reisinger, who's with us today right here in his purple vest. And Jerry came, I met Jerry a few years ago and we talked about Native American heritage when he found out about this trail, and he found out by reading in the paper about that beautiful Indian, that Tom Austin, who is the artist and the creator of so much of what you see here today in terms of art. He read about it in the paper, and so Jerry and Tom connected, and Jerry was first a little skeptical but then very moved by the spirit that moved Tom to really see the spirit in that red oak tree that was destined to be cut down, and he created this beautiful Native American chief, which you can all see if you haven't already seen it, a little ways down the trail. But Jerry was persistent, and sometimes I didn't want to take his phone calls, but we wouldn't have all of this if it weren't for Jerry. Of course, Pat McCabe, who is a project manager for PennDOT, is what I just called the producer of this magnificent trail, and the whole team from PennDOT, you'll see some of them named on the back of this sheet. Those are the 3 people I really had to mention. Jerry, Tom Austin, a magnificent artist, and also a PennDOT employee who captured the spirit of that tree. And then when Jerry told us what a sacred area this was in the Native American heritage and the fishing that was done here, and we don't know exactly how much else, but clearly that's represented here. And Pat and his wonderful team, and also Pat Meehan, who's part of the Fab Corps team, also put in a lot of extra time on his own with photography and working with Tom. So I'm going to turn this back over to Bob Savakinas to recognize so many people. Thank you so much for all of our elected officials. This trail, not like most of our trail is done with a lot of federal money. This particular piece of trail is local and state money. The county commissioners several years ago allocated their portion of the Growing Greener 2 money, $750,000, to build this portion of the trail. We got money from the local share through DCED. Well, that's the local share from the gambling industry. And then we do have some federal money in this as well. But this is $1.5 million project, and we're thankful to everybody who funded it, who worked on it, who enhanced it, and gave this magnificent amenity for our area. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, for those wonderful words. Again, your leadership of LHVA makes programs like this and things so successful. I do believe that Vicki would like to come up and make a presentation briefly.
Yes. I'd like to ask Natalie to come up and receive this gift from the Oneida Wolf Clan for all her hard work. And we hope you enjoy them, and we're honored to be here today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again. Our next speaker will be Mr. Harry Forbes, the Regional Director from our Governor's Office. Mr. Forbes.
First of all, it's an honor to be here on behalf of Governor Corbett. But before I get into the remarks and that the governor has presented here, recognizing one of the individuals and only one, I should say that every person that has been involved with this project, when you look at what the minds have come together and put together on this trail for the folks and people in this area, is just tremendous. I live in Pike County and have the McDade Trail over by me that goes 20 some odd miles from Smithfield up to Milford. And its beach is nice, it's a nice walk, and it's nice to use. This surpasses that. When you come down through here and see the inspiration and see what the minds have put together, and I had the opportunity to talk a little bit when we went down to see the Indian carving, just to look at some of the initiatives that have been put together, and not only carving from the Native American theme that seems to flow to the use of rocks and stuff is just tremendous. So on behalf of everybody, and Natalie, I took the opportunity to look at the people that came together to help you achieve this. This is an inspiration to your organization, to your ability, and to that of the individuals here. Tom, if you could come up, if you're around somewhere. I think I seen you standing somewhere. See, you thought you were going to sneak away in the back, did you? You can come on up front. I'll present this after I read this. The governor, in sending out and looking at some of the work and stuff that was done here when we sent it down, sent this up. It is my pleasure to join with the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority to thank you for the hard work and volunteer service to enhance the CNJ extension portion of Lackawanna River Heritage Trail. Pennsylvania is surrounded by natural beauty from our scenic, I forgot my glasses, so I'm having a hard time here. From our scenic trail and state parks to our lush forests and waterways. You deserve the utmost recognition and gratitude for your hard work and steadfast commitment to helping create a beautiful trail for Pennsylvania and visitors to enjoy. Your appreciation of nature is demonstrated by the creative ability in crafting this sculpture of the Native American, which we all admire today. Your dedication to this project is truly inspiring, and it brings me a great pleasure to join with the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority to recognize you for your service as governor. And on behalf of Pennsylvanians, I am pleased to extend my best wishes for a memorable ribbon cutting ceremony and abundant success in all of your future endeavors. From Governor Corbett, Tom, thank you very much. But just part of that, and as Jim May kind of filled us in a little bit about how this kind of kept evolving every time. As Natalie says, she wouldn't take your phone calls, but I'm glad she did. Oh, not him. Oh, Jerry's call. Okay, but it truly an inspiration, and this is enjoyable to walk, and I hope you enjoy it for years to come. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Natalie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Harry Forbes, for Governor Corbett's office, and also to Tom Austin. Our next speaker will be Lauren Ingram, the Director of the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. And again, projects like this happen because of state support. And I'm not sure if Dennis DeMara is here, but I know Dennis, he's not here, but Lauren Passenger. So thank you to both of those individuals for all they do to help us. But anyway, Lauren Ingram.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here to see all these excited faces about the opening of this trail. And you are certainly not alone. Trails in Pennsylvania are the #1 amenity that people want. In our most recent statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan, they were identified as the resource that people wanted for recreational amenity, for close to home assets that provide healthful recreation, commuting, improved quality of life, and also for the economic benefit. And I had written down here that a recent study showed that the trail had an economic impact of $28.3 million, but I'm reading this and I have the wrong number apparently, because that says
2009.
so this says $37 million, and that's a piece of the puzzle of economic impacts, part of the piece of a puzzle for communities to build strong, quality of life and a strong attraction for people to come to. And that's one of the neat things about long distance trails like this one. It both gives an amenity to the people that live there, but also a draw for people to come into the area. As was said, I'm Lauren Emgren, and I'm with the Bureau of Recreation and Conservation, which is part of the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, and we do the Community Conservation Partnerships Program, or the grant program that helps make a lot of trails like this happen. But we're really just a small piece of that puzzle, just a small piece of the funding, and every one of these projects that we're involved in is the result of strong partnerships that had to happen in order to build actual miles of trail on the ground. Certainly want to thank Natalie for all her hard work, and we really value our partnership with the Lackawanna Heritage Valley. The county commissioners, and many of them are here, and you're going to hear from them, the Borough of Taylor, and certainly PennDOT, who really has the big money for trails, so be really nice to them. We're just small. I also want to recognize Lauren Possinger, who's here in the back, who's our regional advisor in this area, and he was mentioned along with Dennis DeMera that works really closely here, and also involved back in our central office. I don't want to lose that. Is Alex McDonald, one of our project managers. Has been mentioned, this trail really builds on history, and we're really hearing a lot about that. Turning trails like this that were previously train corridors. I heard somebody on the bus coming over saying that, or maybe actually I think it was you, saying the last thing that he remembered being here in the 50s on the train, and that's one of the cool things about Pennsylvania. We have actually the most miles of open rail trails in the country. Another thing that this trail does is it connects people to the Lackawanna River. Earlier today, I met someone from Trout Unlimited who's done a lot of great work on this river, getting trout back and improving the water quality there. And as we heard a little bit ago, this is the same river that brought people to this area, the first people that came here, and why generations have settled in this area because of the river. So it's really great that this trail helps to connect people to the river. As I said, trails and our partnerships with heritage areas like the Lackawanna Heritage Valley are a critical piece of DCNR's mission. And we have a long partnership with the Heritage Valley, which is one of the state's 12 designated heritage areas that link people to the historical, cultural, and natural places of the places we call home. And we're really honored to play a role in partnering with LHVA, with our technical assistance, and also, with funding that help make these on-the-ground projects happen. DCNR is focused on closing the gaps in these long-distance trail systems like this one, because, as I mentioned, in addition to those local benefits that you all enjoy, these long-distance trails serve as a regional asset to bring people to your area to see all the great things that you have to offer, to bring businesses to locate here, and tourists and visitors as well. We are focused on linking people to nature and the rivers and the recreational opportunities they provide, and this trail is a perfect example of that. So congratulations to all of you for this great partnership. It's great to see all these folks here enjoying the trail, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Lauren Ingman from DCNR, and again, our partnership with DCNR is so important in making these things happen. As we were just told, we know how important PennDOT is in trying to help us accomplish events and activities and things like this in our community. So next, I'd like to introduce James May, the District Press Officer from PennDOT.
A number of months ago, I got a phone call from Pat McCabe, the project manager on this trail, who said, "I've got something different for you." This is not the first time Pat's called me up and told me he has something different for me, but he said that one of our inspectors has been going out on his own time after work, and he's been carving this Native American out of an old tree stump. To be honest, I came down thinking I would snap a couple pictures, put it in our local PennDOT newsletter of this guy that's carved maybe an 18-inch Native American out of a stump somewhere, and it'd be kind of a cute little story that we could put in the back of a newsletter that we have there at PennDOT. If you've not been down here around the corner, when I walked around the corner down here and I go around that last little turn there and you look up and you see this massive Native American coming out of the Lackawanna River, I realized that we were dealing with something much bigger than an 18-inch little Native American stump that he had carved. My title with PennDOT, officially if I give you a business card, is Community Relations Coordinator. That's what's on my business card. And I've got to tell you, with guys like Tom Austin doing the work that he's done, and I hope that you caught, because we've said it a few times, this has been volunteer time that he has put in down here. About 1,000 hours of volunteer time that Tom has put into carving not only the Native American down here, but as you walk along this trail, you see different stone carvings and rock carvings. And I'm looking at 2 eagles back here and the fish that's up here on this lacrosse pole. All of this was done by Tom after work on his own time, volunteering literally hundreds, probably over 1,000 hours down here on this trail. And let me just say, as the community relations coordinator for PennDOT, Tom, you make my job much easier to coordinate in the community, because this is just one of those wonderful things that you've done. And let me just say thank you to you. My job's also... My job's also easier because I'm working in a community like northeastern Pennsylvania, where we can have all of these different organizations, and we alluded to it before, but from the governor's office to state legislators and senators, county and local officials, PennDOT, LHVA, all of us coming together as different organizations. And many times there's a stereotype that different government agencies don't communicate with each other. Well, this is an example of a whole bunch of government agencies coming together, coordinating, working together, and what you see here is the result. So that is very exciting. So when you mix that in with the volunteers like Tom, like Jerry Rising, or I even got a phone call yesterday from Pat who said that George Dunbar, a local businessman, has come down and has donated a lot of the plants and shrubbery and things here. And so it's a lot of volunteerism, everybody coming together, working together to make this possible. Let me just close by saying Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, competition has been shown to be useful up to a certain point and no further, but cooperation, which is the thing we must strive for today, begins where competition leaves off. This trail is a wonderful example of what can happen with volunteerism and cooperation in a community, and PennDOT is proud to be a participant in this project.
Thank you, James May from PennDOT. A few months back, a while ago, we elected a new congressman to represent us here, and I think we made a wonderful choice in Congressman Cartwright. He spends much time in Washington advocating for our local community so that we are successful. Congressman Cartwright.
Thank you, Robert. And thank you all for assembling here today on this happy occasion. Cutting the ribbon and opening a new part of the trail is such an important and historic occasion. You know, I did get elected a few months ago, and I'm still kind of on the learning curve in Washington, D.C. But one thing I know, even before I get there, is to put together a good staff so that they can keep me out of pitfalls and pratfalls and all sorts of errors. And what I did was I hired really experienced staffers down in Washington, including my legislative director, Jeremy Marcus. And Jeremy Marcus has been a legislative director for years on Capitol Hill. And one of the first things that he did when we were putting together our legislative agenda in Washington was that he noticed that the national heritage areas in Pennsylvania have to be reauthorized this year, or else they expire. Well, I don't mean you're going to expire, Natalie. And so I stand before you here today very proud to tell you that I am the lead Democrat in the House of Representatives on the bill that will reauthorize the National Heritage Area for 3 places in Pennsylvania, including right here, for the next 10 years until 2023. I spend a great deal of my time in Washington working on natural resources. I am on the Natural Resources Committee. I serve proudly in a function designed to help preserve nature and protect our environment and assist in projects just like this that help citizens interact not only with history, Dominic, but also with nature. Thank you so much for having me here today. Congratulations on this wonderful ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you again, Congressman Cartwright, and as he just announced, again, his support for Lackawanna Heritage Valley and the additional heritage parks in our surrounding communities. Again, the importance of reauthorizing us so that we can continue these wonderful projects for many more years to come. Next person really doesn't need too much of an introduction. I think everyone knows Senator John Blake. Senator Blake is just someone who is constantly out there, constantly taking care of our local communities down in Harrisburg. I'm very proud to introduce someone I also consider to be a good friend, Senator Blake.
Thank you very much, Robert, and thank you for the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to be here. As Vicki said, we are of one mind today and very peaceful and very happy to celebrate another leg of this amazing journey. Now, for as often as Jerry has called Natalie, Natalie has called me. I always love those calls. I want to extend a special thanks to Tom Austin for his great work and the amount of dedication and hours that he put in down here. And I obviously want to thank the administration, Harry and Secretary Shoke and the people at PennDOT for their support. I want to acknowledge the commissioners for their foresight. The Growing Greener program, when it came about, created an opportunity for additional resources. It was actually a ballot issue that the state agreed to. And those dollars were able to be deployed for a variety of reasons. But the commissioners, and I need to express deep thanks to them for their foresight again, for putting money down that made it possible for Natalie and her team to leverage additional resources. And DCNR, Lauren mentioned that it was just a small piece. It's a very large piece. Every little piece matters, and we're very grateful for that support. I want to say a few words if I can. I did about a 5-mile run on, I guess it was on Monday, up at another portion of the trail, another portion of this 70-mile plan. And as I'm running along, and this truck comes by. It's got Ohio plates on it. The gentleman leans out the window. He says, "Do you know where that good trout hole is?" And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what." I said, "I just saw somebody fly fishing about a half mile down, so you may want to go about 3/4." Son of a gun, I might be second in line. But I say that to you because, as Natalie mentioned before, the issue isn't only about fitness and about environmental reclamation, about reclaiming history, but about economic development. It's about bringing people here to enjoy the beautiful Lackawanna Valley and to connect our communities. So I'm deeply grateful to be part of this. I was a former chairman of the Heritage Valley Authority, and it's an honor I continue to wear every time I hear Heritage Valley, and I am so proud of the work that all of our heritage parks do throughout the state, but particularly proud of our Lackawanna Heritage Valley. And Congressman, I appreciate your leadership and support in Washington. I would want to acknowledge my other House members here, Representative Sid Michael Skavulich, Representative Mike Carroll. I believe Representative Marty Flynn might be here as well. And if I missed anyone from the state delegation, I don't think so. But just want to express thanks to them. We work together in Harrisburg when budget priorities come along, and we have to make a decision on how to allocate the dollars you give us in a proper fashion. And one of the things we do fight for are things like this. So thank you very much. Be well.
Thank you again, Senator Blake, for all that you do for advocating for us in Harrisburg to make this a better area. When you think of Lackawanna County, I personally think of a county to be very proud of. And one of the reasons for that is because of our local elected officials that lead our county. Our 3 county commissioners, Corey O'Brien, Jim Wanzak, and Pat O'Malley. I would just like to introduce our chairman currently now of our county commissioners, Corey O'Brien, who has done such a wonderful job the last couple of years in county government.
I'm glad he said a couple of years. I've been here now, I guess, almost 6, so at least I got a couple in where we've done okay. I want to recognize County Commissioner Mike Washoe, who served with me, a proud partner of mine, who was really a driving force behind the $750,000 that was allocated here. He was always a mover and shaker and proud of his community, and was one of the leading advocates to invest all of our money in building this trail. So if we can acknowledge Commissioner Mike Washoe. You know, the Lackawanna River fueled the Industrial Revolution. And not only did it fuel the Industrial Revolution, but it provided the main transportation source for the rich coal, iron and steel that came from our underground here. And now the Lackawanna River is fueling quality of life in northeastern Pennsylvania. The Lackawanna River is also fueling economic development. And as we move forward and we look to bring in new businesses, and as we look to bring in new companies and new ideas and build our population, we do that on the back of the quality of life aspects that we offer right here in Lackawanna County. And Natalie Gelb has single-handedly improved in a dramatic way the quality of life, not only for all of us, but for our children, for our grandchildren, and those people who live all over this country who have yet to discover the greatest place on the planet. They'll discover us soon, make no mistake, if Natalie keeps up what she's doing today. This just continues to add to the important quality of life things that we have going on here, from PNC Field to the Toyota Pavilion to the beautiful McDade Park to the boundless playground system that has reduced and eliminated all those barriers, to this trail which connects all of our communities in our valley and our region, connects us all and builds an even better region for us. So I'm thrilled to be here on behalf of Commissioner Patrick O'Malley, Commissioner Jim Wansack, Commissioner Mike Washoe, who did all these great things here when he served. And I'm very proud of all the work that we've done. So on behalf of all 214,000 residents of our county, who each and every one of them wanted to be here today, congratulations.
Thank you again, Commissioner O'Brien, and for those 6 great years of leading us, and a few more to go yet. Thank you. And let's also give another round of applause to Commissioner Mike Washoe again, because Mike started so many things in our county. Next, I'm very proud to also introduce another commissioner, Pat O'Malley, who I know Mr. O'Malley loves our community, loves our environment, and loves our local history.
I would like to congratulate Lackawanna Heritage Valley on a job well done. Tom Austin, what a great job on those carvings. Incredible. Thank you for being here today. You know, this is about all of us, and it's just an honor and a privilege to be here. When I think of water, all of us think of life. And for all of us that are here today, at least everybody that's over the age of probably 20, remember at one point that the Lackawanna River wasn't that clean. And you really couldn't drive over it about 35 years ago. It smelled, it was horrible. And you know, there was a lot of sewers that were run into the river. Today, it's clean, it's beautiful, there's brown trout in it, and something for the Lackawanna County people to be very proud of. This trail runs alongside of the river. This river means life to our community and to our Native Americans that were here. And like Corey had mentioned before, that during the Industrial Revolution, this was a mode of transportation for coal, iron, steel. They utilized the water to make things happen. We have a proud history, and we live in a proud community. And I just think that this is a great asset, and it's a great opportunity for Taylor to be connected to the Scranton trails. And congratulations to everyone that's here today. This is a great community to live in. And to the 214,000 citizens of our community, congratulations again. And thank you for everyone that's here today. Because of all of you, it happened. Thank you.
Thank you again, Commissioner O'Malley, for your support. And finally, I also would like to say again to Commissioner Wansack, Jim Wansack, thank you again for helping us make these events happen with your support. Moving on then to our state representatives. Our next state representative, I'd like to, Sid Michaels Kovulich. I've known Sid a while. He supports so many of our arts programs, supports our kids in education, and just comes out and supports all of our programs that are out in the community. Mr. Sid Michaels Kovulich.
Thank you, Bob. I thought you were going to introduce me as you did Senator Blake. I got scared for a minute. He said, and Senator Blake is always out there. Thank goodness he said helping the people after that. He really is out there. I wrote a few words down as I was standing listening to some of the other speakers, and each one of them in some way it will be a part of this trail if they aren't already. Recreation, relaxation, history, and even spirituality. When you look at what this trail means, to be able to come here and enjoy the river, to be able to come here and see the wonderful carvings and get a sense of history, to be able to walk this trail or bike this trail and relax, to be able to just sit here and meditate and just be able to look into our own hearts, look into nature. This is what this is all about. And as we listened to the Native American prayer a little bit earlier, some of the words in that prayer, water, Mother Earth, all the stars, the moon, everything that this trail is going to be. It's just, and from someone who is from Taylor, knew what this land was as a kid growing up, someone who still lives here, someone who now has the opportunity to represent a part of this borough and a part of this trail in the state legislature, I just want to say that I am very proud, and everyone that had anything to do with this, I want to say congratulations and thank you.
If you remember my introduction for Representative Kovulich, I said he really loves the arts program, so he's working on his comedy act now, as you heard. Next, I'd like to introduce a new friend of ours, Representative Mike Carroll. He's mainly represented Luzerne County, but now I believe part of the districts have been changing, and he is becoming part of our areas now and falling into his districts. The last couple of days, I've ran into Representative Carroll at probably 4 or 5 events up here in Lackawanna County, which shows that he really wants to be involved, wants to find out what our community is all about, and will be out there to support us. Representative Mike Carroll.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, I think, or good afternoon, I'm not sure. Natalie? It's almost. Okay, good morning then. We've all been to the movies, and we all have seen plays, and there are awards that are provided to various actors and actresses, leading actors and leading actresses, and then there are the folks in the movie or the play that have the lesser roles. Sometimes they're euphemistically called the supporting actor, the supporting actress, and that's my role today. As a supporting actor in what really is an impressive and a wonderful performance that's resulted in the creation of this exceptional trail. And as a representative for a part of Luzerne County that actually includes a portion of the trail, I represent Duryea Borough, which is just across the line, and the Lackawanna River flows into the Susquehanna at Duryea. We're eager and hopeful to have the trail extend beyond Taylor to the south, right to the Susquehanna River, and we look forward to that day with great anticipation. And so I will simply say this, that things as wonderful as this never happen by accident. They always happen because of wonderful partnerships and wonderful cooperation. And so what we have today is the product of a great relationship related to cooperation and partnerships, and everybody doing what they can to create a wonderful, wonderful asset for our community. And I'm thrilled to be a small player in that partnership. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Let me take one more minute if I can. I know that Representative Flynn can't be here this morning, but was as proud as I am and as proud as Sid is with the trail that's been created. I'm not exceptionally familiar with the lines, the way the district lines exist in Taylor and Scranton, but I know that Sid Michaels and Marty Flynn have an area that includes this whole region of Lackawanna County, and I know that Marty Flynn, like all of us, is thrilled about the creation of this trail and looks forward to having it extended both north and south as well. So on behalf of Representative Flynn, I extend his thanks and best wishes as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Representative Mike Carroll. We do have Tom Welby. He's telling me to cut it, but I still want to introduce him for a moment. Tom Welby is the Chief of Staff for Representative Flynn, but he's also a former chairman of Lackawanna Heritage Valley and currently also a board member of our organization. Tom, would you like to say anything? Please do. What's another 2 or 3 minutes?
Never met a microphone I didn't like. I did want to take just a moment on behalf of the board and on behalf of Representative Flynn, who I think is up inspecting the Archbald link, which we will be opening next to make sure that everything is right for that grand opening. But we're so proud of all the cooperation that we received on behalf of the board for this trail, and I hope you notice it's a dual surface trail. We have the macadam and the crushed stone, and number one, we hope that everyone here today shares this trail. It's just absolutely gorgeous. We hope that in the next couple of days that you get to walk it and enjoy it. And Tom, thank you so much for everything that you did. Doctor, thank you for your cooperation, your mentoring on this. But please share the beauty and of this trail. And as Representative Carroll indicated, we want it to run from the confluence of the Susquehanna up to the New York state line. And in our board meetings, we talk about this trail being a national linear park. And indeed, that's pretty much what it is. And along different areas of the park, you'll have little things like this, where we have an amphitheater along the trail. We have cutoffs that cut down to the river. We have beautiful rock carvings, and you'll see as you go also, there are settings where there are rocks that have been transformed by Tom into tables, and rocks that are chairs for you to rest on along the way. And that'll continue from the Susquehanna, hopefully, up to the New York state line. But please share what we have here. It's a great asset to our community, and not just the Heritage Valley Authority, but the Visitors Bureau uses this as well. It's important for the Visitors Bureau to bring in, to tell visitors that come to our area that we have something as beautiful as this. From Austin, Texas to Scranton and Taylor and Archbald, you'll find trails just as beautiful as each other. But please share this. As I know, I think Marty would want me to end with this. Daneto.
See, we really did need to hear from Tom, so thank you, Tom. Just a couple other things before we move on. I do want to also say on behalf of Lackawanna Heritage Valley, besides the trail, for all the years we have done so many other activities in our communities. When you look at the Trolley Museum, when you look at the train stations with our Santa Train event that's held that brings out so many different communities out there. When you look at what else Lackawanna County has besides the trail, we have so many historical institutions, cultural institutions that work with us and that are out there for the community. So I think we could be very proud of what we have here in Lackawanna County, and Lackawanna Heritage Valley, I believe we're a major part of that in allowing all these, or helping facilitate all these activities. Next I'd like to introduce John Teig, Vice President of Council from Taylor Borough. And again, it's the local leadership that makes things like this happen. Mr. Teig?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. This is such a wonderful day for Taylor Borough itself. Being connected to the trail is a great environmental. It opens up for our community, for people to allow them to see what Taylor Borough has to offer. We have some nice restaurants in Taylor, some nice gas stations where you can stop for water and stuff, and walking in this trail. But we have to thank Natalie and the Lackawanna Valley Heritage Association for bringing this to life. This is such a wonderful opportunity for the residents of Taylor Borough, but also the Riverside School District with our Superintendent Paul Brennan. It will allow our children to come down here. Tom Austin, I walk this trail in the morning, and Tom every day surprises me with moving one of the rocks somewhere else. The fish is a different area. But just seeing that is amazing. Sending some of the, I'm with junior football, baseball, and softball, sending some of the children down here just to see this and seeing their faces when they see this trail is amazing. But also, we got to thank Tom, but we also have to thank Pat McCabe and his team for a wonderful job they did on this trail, for providing it to Taylor Borough. Pat also has a new pet, right? Your beaver. In case anyone didn't know, over by the bridge here, you'll see some trees cut down. Every morning, this beaver cuts down a tree and leaves it on the path. And I know that because 5:30 in the morning, I'll come down and I see the tree down. The other day, he is a big beaver, so I will say that, Pat. Good luck training this guy. But the time that they put in, Tom and Pat putting that time in to bring this to the Taylor residents, but not only Taylor residents, our Tri-Borough area. Tri-Borough area, Old Forge Music, that gives them the opportunity to come down here, walk this trail as far as they want. And it's a beautiful trail. And again, I want to thank everybody on behalf of Taylor Borough Council. We have a couple councilmen here, Gene King, Councilman Chris Unimi, and Councilman George Kafira, for bringing this to life for Taylor Borough residents and giving us the opportunity to connect to the trail. Thank you very much and have a good day.
And I was also informed that our mayor, Chris Doherty, was going to be here, but he is unfortunately out of town. But we know, again, Mayor Doherty and all the leadership that he has provided in Scranton and all the good things that are happening in the city of Scranton. Thank you again, Mr. Teig from Taylor Borough. I think we've almost reached a point now in which we're pretty much tired, I guess, of listening to everybody talk. Just one last thing. I just, again, want to say thank you to all of our local, state, federal representatives, elected officials that have helped make this possible. Natalie and the staff of LHVA, our board at LHVA, and all of the many, many community partners that work together to make so many things happen in Lackawanna County and make Lackawanna County a wonderful place to live. With that being said, then, I think it's time to stop talking and let's move on to the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Across the trail.
Right across the trail, right behind us directly. Thank you.
Pat helps us with a lot of projects, so we need Pat in here. He does a lot of work with us.
Everybody here?
In there, Pat?
Down there so they can see it. You're big. Power over them.
Yay! Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here and enjoy the trail.
Yeah, the trail is really unique. It has a native name, which is Ogagwa Trail, and it was a diplomacy trail between Syracuse and Wyoming Valley. And it was on this trail that many diplomats from the Iroquois Nation and the new U.S. government traveled to form the new democracy. It was the Iroquois form of government that was used to unite the 13 colonies. And there was a great period of peace for over 100 years where the Europeans lived at peace with the Iroquois and copied their form of government to unite the 13 colonies.